To begin our lesson, we are going to review our sight words and then read a new story. Then we will read our decodable and do an activity in our reader's notebook. So let's get started. One of our words that we learned about was the word hour. Hour. The word hour can be used in a sentence like we see in our card when it says, "We like to play our games together." Our next sight word was the word today. The word today can be used in a sentence when it says, "The music class will practice today." Our next sight word is the word she. She. On our card, the word she is used when it says she likes to draw with her sister. Next, we have the word now. In our sentence, it says they eat lunch now. Later, they will play. Next, we have the word her. The word her is used in a sentence when it says she took food for her lunch out of the bag. And lastly, the word would. The word would is used in the sentence when it says, "Would you like to play with us?" Today we are going to be reading a story called Drums. Now our story Drums is an informational text. We've read some of these stories in this genre before. An informational text gives facts about a topic. It can be from a textbook, article, or website. Sometimes informational texts can tell you how to do something. What does this article tell you how to do? Our text focus during this story will be a diagram. A diagram is a drawing that can show how something works. So in our story, we will look to find the diagram of a drum. So let's get started reading our story Drums by Tim Pano. People around the world play drums. Yolanda Martinez plays drums. She makes drums too. She sells her drums. So in our picture, we see that this is Yolanda Martinez and she is playing a drum. It also told us that she makes drums and also sells them. All drums have a frame. They have a drum head too. Drummers use a beater stick to play this drum. Now this is a diagram below. It shows parts of a drum. We see the drum head, the frame, and the beater stick. If you remember, one of our text focus to focus on is a diagram. And a diagram is a drawing that can show how something works. So this is a diagram of parts of a drum. So a drum has a drum head, a frame, and a beater stick. The next part of our story tells us how to make a drum. It says, "Would you like to make a drum today? Try this." And then it gives us 3 steps on how we could make a drum. Step 1 says to get an empty coffee can or oatmeal carton. Step 2 says tape paper around the sides. And step 3 says now tape brown paper over the top. And our girl is saying, we like to play our drums. So in our story, Drums, we learned about the instrument drums. We saw a diagram that showed the parts of the drum, and it also gave us directions on how to make our own drums at home. Now this week, I also posted a video showing some instruments that we could make at home. If you got permission to make an instrument, maybe you could follow these directions on this page to make a drum at home. Now let's talk about and compare our two texts from this week, A Musical Day and our story, Drums. First, let's think about how people in the stories share what they like to do. How do they make music? How do they make instruments? So we will be talking about this during our morning meeting this week. We will be thinking about how our characters in our stories shared what they like to do and how they make music. We can also talk about how they were able to make these instruments. We will also be talking about how you like to make music. Do you like to make your own instruments? Do you like to make music by making noises with your mouth? Do you play a real instrument at home? Be thinking about these questions as we learn more about our stories this week. Our phonics skills that we have been practicing this week are words with the short O sound and also words that blend with the letter L. As we go through and read our decodable, be looking for words that blend with the letter L, so that make the L sound, or words with the short O that make the ah sound. Now, like we usually do, Mrs. Collier is going to read a sentence and then I will ask you to read it along with me. So let's get started. Our story today is called The Pet Club by Ellen Catala, illustrated by Molly Delaney. Would you like to see pets? Come to the Pet Club. So let's read that together. Would you like to see pets? Come to the Pet Club. Let's look at what kind of pets we see in our cover. We see a dog, a fish, a parrot, a cat, and maybe a little hamster or a squirrel. This looks like it could be a couple different animals. But our story is called The Pet Club. So what do you think our story might be about? Well, probably about all of these pets and their pet club. Let's see. Dom has a pet. His pet is Ham. So let's read that together. Dom has a pet. His pet is Ham. Ham can flip. Ham can flop. Let's read that together. Ham can flip. Ham can flop. Oh, so we know what this animal is now. It's a hamster. That's why his name is Ham. We can see he has a small hamster cage, a hamster wheel, and also a tunnel with some hay. Do you see any words on this page that are words that blend with the letter L? I see two. The words flip and also the word flop. Flop. Roz has a pet cat. Her pet is Glenn. Glenn can kick. So let's read that together. Roz has a pet cat. Her pet is Glenn. Glenn can kick. So Glenn is her pet cat. Todd has a pet dog. His pet is Slim. Slim can run. Slim can sit. So this is Todd and his pet dog, Slim. Do you see any words on the page that either have the short O, ah sound, or words that blend with the letter L? I see that the word Todd, odd, has the short O sound, and also the word dog, og, both have the short O sound. And then the word slim, slim, blends with the letter L. Anne has a pet. Her pet is Bluff. Bluff can clack. Bluff can flap. Let's read it together. Anne has a pet. Her pet is Bluff. Bluff can clack. Bluff can flap. Ooh, I see a couple words that blend with the letter L. Do you see them too? The name of the bird is Bluff. Bluff. We can hear the blend between the B and the L. Also the word clack. Clack. We can hear the blend with the L with the C, L together. Clack. And the last word I see is the word flap. Flap. We can hear the blend with the letter L when it is used with the FL sound. Flap. Nick has a pet. His pet is Plum. Nick has a pet. His pet is Plum. Plum will not flip, flop, and clap. Plum will not flip, flop, and clap. Plum will not play, but Plum will kiss. Plum will not play, but Plum will kiss. There are a few words on this page that have the blend with the letter L or even the short O sound. Can you tell me a word that has the blend with the letter L? The name Plum, which is the name of Nick's fish. plum blends with the letter L. Also the word flip, flop, and clack. Do you see the words that have this short O sound? The ah sound? The word not, n-ought, and also the word flop, flop. What a great story for us to read to practice our phonics skills this week of the short O sound and blends with the letter L. Now let's go on to our next activity. For our activity in our reader's notebook, we are going to be working on page 106. So now would be a good time to get out your reader's notebook, and I'm going to circle our page at the bottom of the screen, so page 106. And we are working on blends with L, or blends with the L sound. Our directions tell us to circle the word to finish the sentence, then write the word. So, what we will do first is look at the picture and then read the sentence and decide which word fits best in the blank to finish the sentence. So let's look at number 1. In our picture, what do we see? It looks like we see a girl who might be on some ice. So our sentence says, she will, and are we going to say slip or slap? She will slip. She will slap. Which of these words would fit best in the sentence to go into the blank? Circle the word and then write it in the blank. At the end of our worksheet, we will go over each of the answers. On number 2, our sentence says, this is a blank. Is this a picture of a clam or a blot? This is a clam. This is a blot. Circle the word that best completes the sentence, then write the word in the blank. Number 3 says, who will blank this? Well, in our picture, we see a picture of a penny with an arrow pointing to the middle of it, it looks like, so it can show both sides of the penny. So would we say, who will slip this, or who will flip this? Which word fits best in the blank? Circle the word and write it in the blank. Number 4 says, I have a blank. In our picture, we can see a notepad that has some notes on it. Would we say, I have a plan, or I have a blab? Which word fits best to complete the sentence? Circle the word and write it in the blank. Number 5, we have a picture of a paper with a big spot on it. Our sentence says, this is a big blank. Would we say, this is a big blot, or this is a big flap? Which word fits best in the blank? Circle the word and write it in the blank. And number 6, we see a picture of a boy with a bat. Our sentence says, he is blank to play. Would we say he is clap to play or he is glad to play? Circle the word, then write the word in the blank. Now let's go over each of your answer choices for our activity. On number 1, we should have said, she will slip. Slip. Because it looks like she is slipping on some ice. So in the blank, we should have wrote the word slip. We said, she will slip. Number 2, this is a clam. This is a picture of a clam. So in the blank, we should have put the word clam. And please make sure that you're correcting your paper if it's not right. Number 3, we should have said, who will flip this? They're talking about the penny. Have you ever heard somebody say, let's flip a coin? So they are saying, who will flip this? Talking about the penny. Next, on number 4, we should have said, I have a plan. I have a plan. So we should have circled the word plan and put it in the blank. Next, number 5, it says, this is a big blot. Blot. This mark on the paper is called a blot. And even if we weren't really sure what a blot is, we know that the word flap does not make sense in the sentence. So for number 5, we should have said, this is a big blot. And our last one on number 6, we should have said, he is glad to play. So we should have put glad in the blank. So all of these words that we chose to complete our sentence were blends with the letter L. Now let's go over and say each of our words that we selected. Slip, clam, flip, plan, blot, glad. Once you have finished completing this worksheet, you are all done with your lesson for today. Remember, if you got permission to make your own instrument at home, see what kind of instruments that you can make, and we can share them during our Google Meets. I'll see you later.